So within the context of conflict and communication, what love requires you to look to do, and this is hard to do when your passions are up, or there's something that really, really matters to you. You want to win, if you will.
That's right. We tend to want to win.
When
we come into an argument, we want our point made.
I have a right,
That's
and
right.
I'm going to see that she understands that I'm right. So one of the things that love requires you to do, or respect for that matter, is to take a deep breath, to remember who you're dealing with, believe the best, benefit of the doubt, and really think about how can I best handle the heart of this person, not so that I can get them to do what I want them to do, because I really want it, but because I love this person. And so I'll give you an example, and I don't remember, honestly, truthfully, like neither one of us remember what this was about, but there was some conflict.
And it was bad. I don't remember what it was, but it was horrible.
Passionate, right?
Yes.
And it was ongoing. And I just thought, man, how am I going to make my point with her? Like, how am I going to help her understand not just the point I'm trying to make, but how I feel and how this whole thing is going and how I feel about how it's going and what I'm trying to say as opposed to what I think she's hearing me as saying, etc. In light of who she is. And I know who she is. And
I'm the fighter.
Yeah.
Which means that I want to run from all conflict. And it's just very hard. It was conflict in my home growing up, and it was scary. It was scary as a young person to deal with that. And so what I became was the person that tried to make everyone happy. And so conflict was very difficult for me.
Yeah. So in this particular instance, I went to my office. I was bothered, frustrated, whatever. And I thought, all right, I'm just going to write it out. And I'm going to read it to myself so it doesn't seem like I'm filing a legal brief. I'm not, but really like I'm going to, in written form, share my heart, what I'm trying to do and not do, where I feel misunderstood, etc. And I'm gonna hit send.
I did, and then I received it, and that was the greatest. That was the greatest thing for me ever. I could read what he was thinking, why he was so strong about whatever it was. I don't even remember. And I had time to process and with no fear and no just being scared about how to deal with this, his in my face type of conflict, that I was able to put down my side and what I thought about it, and we were able to discuss and resolve the issue, which was huge.
Yeah, it was magical.
Yeah,
honestly.
it was great.
Really great.
So we would recommend emails or anything like that, any way that you can take the passion out of it, any way that you can bring your heart down to a place where you can talk openly. And sometimes that is a great way.
Yeah, like every form of communication has its advantages and disadvantages. Like an email doesn't come with a smile. There's no interpersonal, or non-verbal communications going on there, or cues, but it has its advantages too. So think about what is the best way for me to do this to create safety and love and affirmation for this person that I'm in this covenant with.
And remember that when you do have a conflict in a marriage, the idea is to get to a win-win. And that's not an easy thing to remember when you want your way or when you think you're right. But one of the things that Jesus calls us to is to be selfless and to think of other people more than ourselves, to be servants. And so one of the things that we need to be aware of is that sometimes we need to lay down our rights, just like he did, right? And so sometimes we sacrifice in different ways for the greater good. And so what we need to do as married people is to look for the win-win.
Yeah, the question is not how do I win? The question is how do we win?